Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video we are going to know about the topic is, will caste certificate be issued without specifying caste? A groundbreaking Supreme Court decision that has sparked widespread debate and interest across various sections of society, particularly in the context of social justice and administrative reform. This development, announced in early 2025, is significant not only for its impact on how caste-based benefits are administered in India, but also for its broader implications for social equity and identity politics. Traditionally, caste certificates have been issued to individuals to verify their caste status, which is a crucial document for accessing government reservations and welfare schemes designed for historically marginalized communities. However, the question now being debated in the courts is whether these certificates should continue to explicitly mention a person's caste, or if they can instead simply certify eligibility for benefits without disclosing the specific caste identity. This topic is in the news because it challenges long-established administrative practices and touches on sensitive issues of caste, identity, and social justice. In recent years, there has been growing criticism of the caste certificate system from both within marginalized communities and from social reformers. Critics argue that the explicit mention of caste in these certificates perpetuates stigma and social divisions, and may even contribute to discrimination in employment, education, and public life. On the other hand, supporters contend that the detailed specification of caste is essential for ensuring that the benefits of affirmative action reach the intended groups, particularly given India's long history of caste-based discrimination. The Supreme Court's decision is thus seen as a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over how best to address historical injustices while promoting a more inclusive society. The origins of this issue date back several decades, as India has long struggled with the complexities of caste in its social and administrative systems. The caste certificate was originally introduced as a tool to verify an individual's caste in order to facilitate the implementation of affirmative action policies. Over time, however, the system has become mired in bureaucratic inefficiencies and has faced criticism for reinforcing caste identities rather than diminishing their social impact. In recent years, several petitions have been filed in various high courts, challenging the requirement to specify caste in official documents. These legal challenges have argued that the state should focus on ensuring access to benefits rather than categorizing citizens by their caste, a move that could potentially reduce social stigma and promote greater integration. The Supreme Court's recent ruling, therefore, is the culmination of years of legal and social debate, reflecting an evolving understanding of how caste and identity should be managed in modern India. To better understand this development, it is essential to define some key terms. A caste certificate is an official document issued by government authorities to confirm an individual's caste, typically for the purpose of accessing reservations in education, employment, and other welfare programs. The term scheduled caste refers to the castes listed under the Indian Constitution that are recognized as being historically disadvantaged and are provided special protection and benefits by the state. In this context, the question is whether these certificates should continue to specify the individual's caste, or whether a more generic certificate that simply confirms eligibility for benefits would be sufficient. The term affirmative action is also central here, as it refers to policies aimed at promoting opportunities for historically marginalized groups. Understanding these definitions and their implications is crucial for analyzing the Supreme Court's decision. Figures and numerical data further underscore the significance of this issue. For instance, millions of Indians rely on caste certificates to access government reservations, and these benefits are a critical part of the country's social welfare framework. However, there have been studies indicating that the caste-based system contributes to social stratification and, in some cases, hinders social mobility. While exact figures vary by region, data from the Ministry of Social Justice has shown that in many areas, a large percentage of beneficiaries of affirmative action are still subjected to social discrimination due to the explicit categorization of caste in official documents. The new Supreme Court directive, which is expected to be implemented from mid-2025, aims to address these disparities by revising the format and content of caste certificates. The decision could lead to a significant reduction in the social stigma attached to caste labels, though it also raises concerns about whether the benefits intended for marginalized communities might be diluted if their specific caste identities are not documented. From a technical and operational perspective, the implementation of this ruling will require extensive changes to the existing civil registration systems across the country. State governments, which are responsible for issuing caste certificates, will need to update their databases and administrative procedures. This may involve the integration of new digital platforms under initiatives like Digital India, which aim to streamline public services and reduce bureaucratic inefficiencies. Training programs for government officials and widespread public awareness campaigns will likely be necessary to ensure a smooth transition to the new system. These operational details are vital for competitive exam aspirants, as they illustrate the practical challenges of implementing judicial decisions on a nationwide scale. The timeline for these changes is also critical. The Supreme Court delivered its ruling in early 2025, and the government is expected to roll out the new format of caste certificates within a few months, with full implementation anticipated by the end of the fiscal year. This timeline is significant as it reflects the urgency with which the government intends to address long-standing issues related to caste documentation. For instance, previous attempts to reform the system have faced delays due to political and administrative hurdles. The new directive, therefore, is not only a legal milestone but also a prompt for rapid administrative change, which could have immediate effects on millions of citizens across the country. The broader implications of this decision are profound. On one hand, issuing caste certificates without specifying caste could lead to a reduction in the social stigma and discrimination that have long plagued marginalized communities. By focusing on eligibility for benefits rather than explicit caste identification, the government could foster a more inclusive environment that promotes social mobility and reduces caste-based prejudice. On the other hand, there are concerns that such a move might complicate the process of ensuring that affirmative action benefits reach the intended groups. Critics argue that without specific caste details, it may become more challenging to track and measure the impact of social welfare programs designed for scheduled castes. This debate touches on deeper philosophical and policy-oriented questions about how best to balance the need for social justice with the imperative to move beyond historical divisions. Key persons and sources also play an important role in this narrative. The Supreme Court judges who delivered the ruling are central figures in this decision, and their legal opinions have been widely discussed in academic and media circles. Prominent social justice activists and community leaders from marginalized groups have lauded the decision as a step towards reducing caste-based discrimination, while some political representatives have expressed concerns about the potential loss of targeted benefits. Reputable sources such as The Hindu, Times of India, and scholarly articles in journals of social policy provide additional context and verification of the facts presented. These sources reinforce the legitimacy and significance of the ruling, ensuring that the information is both accurate and reliable for competitive exam preparation. For competitive exam aspirants, this topic is a multifaceted case study that spans legal, social, and administrative dimensions. It is essential to understand the historical origins of caste certification in India, the evolution of affirmative action policies, and the long-standing debates over caste as an identity marker versus a tool for social justice. Familiarity with key definitions and terminologies such as caste certificate, scheduled caste, and affirmative action is crucial. Additionally, understanding the figures and data, such as the millions of beneficiaries of the current system and the numerical impact of potential reforms, will help you analyze the broader socio-economic implications of this decision. The timeline, from the inception of caste certificates to the recent Supreme Court ruling and its projected implementation in 2025, provides a chronological framework that is essential for grasping the evolution of this issue. In conclusion, the Supreme Court's decision to issue caste certificates without specifying caste marks a significant shift in India's approach to social justice and administrative reform. By potentially removing explicit caste identifiers from these critical documents, the government aims to reduce social stigma and foster a more inclusive society, while still ensuring that affirmative action benefits are delivered to those who need them most. This development has deep historical roots, involves complex legal and technical changes, and carries substantial socio-economic implications. For competitive exam aspirants, a thorough understanding of this issue requires a grasp of the legal, historical, and operational aspects, as well as an appreciation for the broader debates surrounding caste and social equity in India. As you prepare for your exams, consider how this decision reflects ongoing efforts to modernize public administration and promote social justice, and use this knowledge to build a comprehensive perspective on the challenges and opportunities. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given heart and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.